Dear Dhamma friends, we are going to start today's Sutta discussion. I would like to welcome those friends who join with us online. I hope you were with us during the meditation. So let's begin with such a peaceful mind. The sutta we selected today to discuss is Samma Ditthi Sutta. The English translation is right view, or we can use right understanding. To have a sound discussion, I made an outline so you can see that in the PowerPoint presentation. First of all, we would like to discuss the background information of the sutta. It is always necessary because in that part you may know who delivered this discourse and where, for what reason. So introduction to the discourse is important. After that, those important factors will be discussed. The importance of the discourse for gaining happiness, and what is not Samma Ditthi, and what is Samma Ditthi, right view, and we discuss the types of Samma Ditthi and how does Samma Ditthi help the other factors in the Noble Eightfold Path, and how do we apply Samma Ditthi in daily life. Before going to the next step, I would like to tell you that these objectives will not be happening in today's class, because we have to have some classes to finish this discourse. As you see the discourse, it has so many factors to discuss. Therefore, I discuss some of the factors today with the background information. In the presentation, in the sutta discussion, I would spend a great deal of time to discuss what Samma Ditthi is, why Samma Ditthi is important, and what place is given by the Buddha to Samma Ditthi, and also the other venerable monks in their teachings. So we will be spending a great deal of time today to discuss this background information of Samma Ditthi. I hope that you have heard about this word before, many times in your life, right? Because the word Samma Ditthi is one of the key word in Buddha's teaching. If you are going to study Buddhist principles or Buddhist teaching, Buddhist philosophy, you might hear this word from the very beginning. If you look at the Noble Eightfold Path, you may see that this is the first factor of the Noble Eightfold Path. So it means that without it you cannot go further in understanding or in practicing the noble teachings of the Buddha. Therefore, nobody can go into the Buddha's teaching without knowing this factor. Therefore, we should take some time to discuss this very important quality called Samma Ditthi in order to gain peace and happiness. Even the words of loving kindness that we have been discussing for 4 weeks is supported by Samma Ditthi. Without Samma Ditthi, we cannot practice the loving kindness. So you may realize that how important Samma Ditthi in the teachings of the Buddha. So let's discuss this. So this is the outline. So Samma Ditthi discourse also is recorded in the Tripitaka. I have given this slide many times, so you may be familiar with the way I explain the place of the discourse now. The location of Samma Ditthi Sutta in Tripitaka, you can see Tripitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka. So that arrow is in the wrong place. Below the Vinaya Pitaka, it should come to the middle. Sorry about that. So Sutta Pitaka is divided into 5. As you can see, long discourses, middle length discourses, connected, numerical, and miscellaneous. So again, middle length discourses divided into 3 categories: first 50, second 50, and third 52. Altogether, there are 152 discourses in middle length discourses. So the first 50 has been categorized into 5. And you can see that Samma Ditthi Sutta is the Sutta number 9, and it belongs to the first category of these 5. So now you know Samma Ditthi Sutta is the number 9 in middle length discourses of the Buddha. There are 152 discourses in Majjhima Nikaya, and Samma Ditthi Sutta is the number 9. So, in the introduction to the discourse, we come across this information. As you can see, the picture is the Jayewardenaramaya Monastery today. How many of you have been to Savatthi pilgrimage in India? I have been there, and this picture is taken from other side of the entrance, and it is close to the kuti of the Buddha. It's called Gandha Kuti. So in front of the Gandha Kuti, there is the Dhamma hall where the Buddha delivered the Dhamma for 19 years. Buddha lived 24 years in Vassa in Savatthi and 19 years in this monastery. So when I went there, I recalled these information in a certain way, and there was an enormous joy that I was able to come here and saw the places where the Buddha was and walked and delivered this beautiful sermon. So that's additional information to arouse your energy to go there and see the places of the Buddha. It's beautiful because you outside of the places on the road you see the beauty of India, and from the literature of Buddhist literature, from the literature of my country, I have seen Indian culture, Indian the Savatthi, Rajagaha, Kapilavattu in the imaginary system. When I went there, I saw that it's true. So it's beautiful to visit India, especially these places. So this is the very place that Venerable Sariputta delivered this discourse. Now you know that this discourse is not delivered by the Buddha. It is the Venerable Sariputta delivered the discourse. How wise he was to have such a vast, deep knowledge to codify all kinds of important factors of Samma Ditthi and explain it to the Sangha then and also in the future, like us. So Venerable Sariputta delivered this discourse while the Buddha was in that monastery. So Venerable Sariputta delivered this discourse while the Buddha was there. It means to me that Buddha trusted on some great disciple in delivering Dhamma like him. In Buddha's life story, you can see that Buddha, in very few occasions, was tired and asked some monks to come and deliver the Dhamma while he was resting. That proves us some important things, that even the Buddha experienced common, things like getting tired and I cannot do this, I need to sleep now, I need to get a rest, I need to get a bath. So because why do I say this? Some people think that Buddha is perfect, even bodily function. Of course, he had a very perfect, very detailed and daily schedule, in which he woke up around 4 and worked so hard to make people happy, and around 12 midnight he stopped delivering Dhamma to human beings. It is said that 2 hours every day was given for deities to come and meet him. At 2 a.m. he went to sleep. So there was a detailed, very perfect schedule, daily schedule. But his body was like others. It was deteriorating, it was affected by the nature, and you can see that from the last discourse of the Buddha, it's called Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the details, the explanation of the final passing away. So, Venerable Sariputta, Ananda, Mudgallayana, those monks were there to deliver the Dhamma on behalf of the Buddha. But the group of devotees, the monks who were there, was unknown. We don't know who were there, who the monks at that time presented there. Look at the discourse. But it was very successful discourse according to the commentary, because everybody was happy and Buddha confirmed. It is said that the Buddha confirmed the content of the discourse later on. The theme of the discourse was right view, Samma Ditthi. In the discourse, if you the right view is explained in 16 ways. Did you get that? There are subtopics. It's easy to understand. There are 16 ways that Venerable Sariputta explained the right view. So we will be discussing all these factors with details. But today we'll cover at least the first two with the background information. Before we go to the content of the discourse, let's see what we can learn from these terms, right view, Samma Ditthi, and I would say that wrong view, and about Venerable Sariputta, and so on. It is very important to understand who Venerable Sariputta is. Arahant Sariputta, we call him Arahant Sariputta. You know the word Arahant, right? He has attained full enlightenment. I'm going to take a series of Dhamma talks on great disciples of the Buddha later on, maybe in the summer, because it's so interesting to learn about disciples of the Buddha who were at that time with the Buddha, because a lot of Dhamma comes from their way of living. So it will be a great gaining for us to excavate all these information on great disciples of the Buddha and find the Dhamma. Anyhow, today I would like to give you some information about the Arahant Sariputta. Arahant Sariputta, what is his lay name? Do you remember his lay name? He was Upatissa. Yeah, he was Upatissa. That's his name. This young Upatissa was unusual in a positive way. He had a friend and his name was Kolita. Later he was called Moggallana. So Upatissa and Kolita were friends from very young age, and according to the available information, their homes were situated close by, and they were wealthy people and belonged to two castes who ruled huge area of villages. So Upatissa and Kolita were not poor people, were not outcast people according to Indian caste system. They were Brahmins. These two young people, though, were very good in the sense of developing their curiosity to find out the truth. One day they were in a concert which was organized on a top of a mountain, and they were looking at the dancing, singing and so on a seat specially prepared for them. Both were fed up with all these singing, dancing and so on, because they were questioning about the meaning of life. Both decided on the same spot that this is not the life we are looking for. Let's renounce this world, this life, and accept the mendicant's life. So next day, according to the available information, left everything for their family members and went on searching the truth. They went to a religious leader called Sanjaya and started practice under him. Very soon they became the best students of Sanjaya. Sanjaya was so confident about Upatissa and Kolita, and he was ready to give students of Sanjaya, student of him, to these great students. Meanwhile, they left that group because they knew that this is not the right teaching we are looking for. How did they understand that? Because their mind was not settled, though they practiced the teachings of Sanjaya. So they left, and at the junction they departed, came to an agreement: if one of us find the truth, we should come together and share it. So that's how they departed. Not very long, Upatissa met Venerable Assaji, one of the first five monks of the Buddha, and Upatissa was so peaceful and calm when he saw the Venerable Assaji's walking mindfully. He was going behind and waited until Venerable Assaji finished his day meal and asked question. Your bodily actions and way of walking were so peaceful, and which teaching you are following? Who is your teacher? What Dhamma you accept? And these are some of the questions he asked. Venerable Assaji told Upatissa that I do not know much about what I am following. My teacher is Gautama Buddha. He arose in this world for the sake of happiness of many beings, and what I taught from him is something like this. Then he delivered the statement of Paticca Samuppada. Ye Dhamma hetu prabhava tesang hetun tathagatuvaha, and so on. If something arises with causes and conditions, my teacher says those causes and conditions create the results, and the results will be dissolving when the causes and conditions dissolves. So the message of the Paticcasamuppada is delivered by Venerable Assaji in short to Upatissa. It is said that Upatissa, as a young person who was looking for truth, attained to Sotapanna by listening only 3 words. While he was listening to the first line of the 4-line stanza, he got the first stage of enlightenment. Then he was so delighted, he asked, where is your teacher now? Then Venerable Assaji said that he was in that place, you can meet him. So Upatissa went, before going to the Buddha, went to Sanjay and met and delivered this message. Oh, before that he went to Moggalla, Kolita, and recited whatever he heard from Venerable Assaji, and at the end of the verse, Kolita also got attained to first level of enlightenment. Then both went to their teacher Sanjay and said that we found the truth, and the teacher who speak the truth, would you be able to join with us, because you also are waiting to know the truth. Then Sanjay was so ignorant and rejected the request. Then when Upatissa and Kolita with some students of Sanjay accepted, but it is said that those students came later. Both of these went to the Buddha. Our topic is today is to talk about some information of Upatissa, who became Sariputta later on. Why this Sariputta name came to Upatissa? Because his mother's name was Sari. Putta is the son. So mother's name is Sari and Putta is son. So Sari's son is Sariputta. So that name was called by the fellow monks and people in the village, in the city. Otherwise, Venerable Sariputta did not want another name. So he accepted. If people say that I am Sariputta, it's okay for me. Are we in that situation? No, we cannot have it, because sometimes we have nicknames, sometimes we have names that people call. That is also happening, but this is something different. So Venerable Sariputta, after meeting the Buddha, entered to the order, and Buddha knew that these 2 people are coming to me, and they would become the great disciples in my dispensation. When Kolita and Upatissa, as still young lay people, were coming towards the Buddha, and Buddha saw them from distance, and he told the other monks that look at these 2 young people, they will be the main chief disciple of my dispensation. So they entered to the order, and within a month time, Venerable Sariputta was learning the deep Dhamma from his own experience. Now he has first Sotapanna, stream winner, and meditating and investigating the Dhamma. One day he was supporting the Buddha by fanning. He was standing behind the Buddha, making some some good thing for the Buddha, giving water and fanning and so on. Buddha was at that time delivering a discourse to a relative of Venerable Sariputta called Diganak. So the content of the sutta is about the aggregate of feelings. So while Venerable Sariputta was fanning to the Buddha, he listened to the content of the discourse one after the other in a deepest way. While listening in such a way with investigative mind, Venerable Sariputta attained to arahantship. The discourse was directly to Diganaka, a relative of Venerable Sariputta, but he was listening to the discourse and went on stages by stages on the deep Dhamma and attained to full enlightenment. Later on, Buddha said that only the Venerable Sariputta mastered on each aspect of samadhi and wisdom and attained enlightenment. No other disciple of the Buddha did that. That was recorded in a discourse called Ukkachela and other discourses right after the passing away of Venerable Sariputta. Venerable Sariputta passed away a few months before the Buddha's great Parinibbana. It is said that Upatis Upatis and later Sariputta was older than Buddha. So Venerable Sariputta, because of these extraordinary qualities, especially in wisdom, became the foremost disciple of the Buddha for great wisdom. Buddha himself explained that Venerable Sariputta is second only to me in wisdom. Friends, let's discuss about Sariputta another time because it's so beautiful. This is the best and the most extraordinary monks in the dispensation. He was such a kind person. I did not provide you a picture today, and it's all about some incident happened. Venerable Sariputta was so famous in the order of monks and nuns as well as among other religious leaders. How he was famous among those people? That Venerable Sariputta is so patient, kind, and able to bear anything. That's how the popularity was circulating among people. There was one person. There was a chatting among a group of people in the market town, and Venerable Sariputta was passing by, and this group was also talking about the great popularity of Venerable Sariputta. Those group of people can see Venerable Sariputta passing by. Then one person was not a Buddhist, or let's say he was not a follower of Venerable Sariputta or the Buddha, and he said that I do not believe what you are saying. How can a person has such a deep patience and understanding? I will prove you today that Venerable Sariputta is not such a patient monk. Then other people who were in that group said, okay, you can. Then that person went behind Venerable Sariputta and gave a big blow to his, one side of face. He was going behind and gave a big blow. And what this person anticipated was Venerable Sariputta turns and reacted like in the same way. But Venerable Sariputta did not turn, did not say any words. He was going forward as he was. This person was so upset that I hit so hard to such a calm and peaceful person. He was crying now. He ran in front of Venerable Sariputta and stopped. Venerable Sir, I am so sorry for what I did. He said, what did you do? Venerable Sariputta asked. Then this person grieving was increasing because he hit this Venerable Sariputta who is so calm, and now he is saying that who hit me, and I don't feel anything. Then the grieving was increasing and said that, Venerable Sir, I am the one who hit you so hard from your back, and I realize how bad I am, how trivial my behavior is, so please forgive me. Okay, no problem. I have given you I have given forgiveness already. Please stand up. No, I do not accept forgiveness. This is not enough for me. If you accept my request to come to my home today for lunch meal, and that is real forgiving. Then Venerable Sariputta, of course Venerable Sariputta was on alms round, and he accepted the invitation and went with that person to his house. And now, though the other people in the group was looking at this and spreaded the news that one person who was not a follower of the Buddha hit Venerable Sariputta so hard on his face, and now let's go and kill this person. So that news was spread like a fire in the village, in the city. Meanwhile, Venerable Sariputta was taking his meal, and now Venerable Sariputta and this person hear a sound, a big noise outside of his property. The house is like this, and there is a gate and fence around, and people were waiting with clothes and wood and weapons and so much, and then waiting for this person. So Venerable Sariputta heard this, and he knew that if I go leaving this person alone at home, definitely those people kill this person. So Venerable Sariputta, after the lunch, gave the patra to this person and asked him to follow. Then both Venerable Sariputta and this person was near to the gate, and one of the people who gathered near the gate said that, Venerable Sir, you may go. We have something to deal with this person. We have an issue with this person. What is that? This person has hit you on the way to Pindapata, so we are going to revenge. Venerable Sariputta patiently turned to that person and asked loudly, whether this person hit you or me. Venerable Sir, it is you who was hit by this person. So you must be in great pain. So we are here to revenge. So if this person hit me, it is me should do something for this person, not you. So go away. So everybody was silent and went away. This is one incident recorded in the Tripitaka to show how compassionate Venerable Sariputta was. There are so much to learn from Venerable Sariputta's life story. We are not here to learn about Venerable Sariputta's story, but I will tell you this story, how wise Venerable Sariputta was, how compassionate he was, how disciplined he was. So we are going to learn a discourse he uttered. So because of his wisdom, he was appointed the Marshal of the Dhamma, the Dhamma Senapati. He is the leader of the Dhamma. If you look at the Buddha's statement about Venerable Sariputta, you may know him. There is a discourse called Anupada Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, step by step. It's English translation. step by step. In that discourse, Buddha said that only Venerable Sariputta achieved or reached to each stages of first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, immaterial jhana, and the perception, the concentration called Sanya Veta Nirodha thoroughly, and attained full enlightenment with other qualities and knowledges. Therefore, he said that Venerable Sariputta is the son of me. So he was appointed as the marshal of the Dhamma, and he was also appointed as the Buddha's right hand great disciple. There are only two great disciples, main disciples. One is Venerable Sariputta, the other one is Mahamoggallana. So that statement is recorded in Satya Vibhanga Sutta. You can see that Buddha made this statement to show how he respect to Venerable Sariputta, and the similar statement is made about Venerable Moggallana as well. Monk Sariputta is like unto a mother. Sariputta is like a mother to you. Sariputta trains humans, beings, in the path to stream attainment, stream entry. It is a very significant thing. Venerable Sariputta took care of somebody, only he or she or lay people confirm their first level of enlightenment. Why? No answer?
Good teacher.
Of course, he is a good teacher, and others are also good, also good teacher. Why? Once you attain to first level of enlightenment, there is no coming back to mundane life. That person is, of course, definitely going forward to other spiritual stages. There is no fear after that you lose your mindfulness, wisdom, and so on. Is this too deep? No? I don't know whether you cannot go with this analysis. That's why I'm asking. Because they are too deep. Some statesmen, Buddha made some discourses I have been taking are too deep because they speak of too deep Dhamma. Once you attain to Sotapanna, it's a permanent state. Your mind transforms from mundane to supramundane level. There is no coming back. So that's why Venerable Sariputta make sure that people attain to the stream entry, and they know after that what should be done for the attainment of arahantship. Sariputta is able to proclaim, teach, lay down, establish, open up, analyze, and elucidate the Four Noble Truths. I do not see that the Buddha made this statement considering other monks. Perhaps one or two were there, but not very many. So, if somebody is able to understand the Four Noble Truths and proclaim it, teach, lay down, establish, open up, analyze, and elucidate, for somebody to attain enlightenment is not a simple skill. If I have that skill, you never continue to come to this class. If Venerable Sariputta were here, you would come to the class only maybe a couple of sessions, because Venerable Sariputta was so keen to make people sure about Dhamma, those Dhamma facts. So if you cannot attain enlightenment in this very life, please make a wish to be like Venerable Sariputta in the future and attain enlightenment. Why not? Because if you attain to enlightenment in a young age, like Venerable Sariputta, you could help a lot of people. And there is no suffering after that. There may be physical suffering, but you are not worried about them mentally. How beautiful it is. And the head of the Brahma world, head of the divine world, and four great divine beings who control some section of divine world, came to Venerable Sariputta's house when he was sick, when he was spending his last time, to nurse him. Was there any disciple in the Buddha's teaching who got such a respect? And Venerable Chunda was the immediate brother to Venerable Sariputta. You know, I will tell you all this important information about Venerable Sariputta when we did his life story. There were four sisters and 3 brothers in his family. All enter into the order. 8 of the family members, except the mother, and there was no any mention about the father, but all of them enter into the order and attain enlightenment. But the mother was not a follower of the Buddha. He was accusing the Buddha and his followers for taking all of his family members into this order. So Venerable Chunda, after the great passing away of Venerable Sariputta, he was cremated, the body was cremated, and Venerable Chunda was coming to the Buddha taking the relics. And before he went to the Buddha, he met Venerable Ananda, one of the closest friend to Venerable Sariputta. Venerable Ananda was so upset, and both Venerable Chunda and Ananda went to the Buddha, and Venerable Ananda was reporting the message about passing away of Venerable Sariputta. He said, Venerable Sir, my good friend and mother-like disciple to many monks and nuns and lay people, and your greatest disciple passed away. Sir, when I heard the message, I did not feel where I am. I was so unmindful about my body, my feeling, and so on. Then Buddha silently asked, did Venerable Sariputta took your mindfulness with him? Did Venerable Sariputta, took your wisdom to say that you were so unmindful when you heard the message? So there was such a beautiful happenings because of Venerable Sariputta in the dispensation among monks, among lay people, and so on. So that statement that we appear in the slide was taken from Satcavibhanga Sutta, one of the greatest discourses Venerable Sariputta delivered. Let's go forward now. Venerable Sariputta, that's the picture that Venerable Assaji and Upatissa met under a tree, and Upatissa was asking questions about his teaching, about his teacher, and so on. So these are some of the discourses Venerable Sariputta made. Dhammadayada Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya and Anangana Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, guilt-free. The greater discourse on the elephant footprint, simile, Mahatipadopama Sutta, and greater discourse on explanation, Mahavedala Sutta. Those are the discourses I would like to take to discuss in the future, because they explain very important Dhamma analysis to go forward in this noble path. So we will discuss them later on. And discourse to Anathapindika. Anathapindika considered Venerable Sariputta as his best friend in the order. That's why Anathapindika was so sick, and that was the last time of Anathapindika, and he sent a messenger to the monastery saying that please worship the Buddha by my name and Moggallana and other monks, and finally go to Venerable Sariputta and ask him to come to my home. Venerable Anathapindika did not want Buddha to come in, but he wanted Venerable Sariputta to come in and talk to him at the last moment. So Anathapindika Vada Sutta witnesses that fact. Faith inspiring discourse, Sampasadaniya Sutta, you may read it. How to develop confidence, Shraddha on the Buddha is explained in that discourse. That is a discourse delivered by Venerable Sariputta. And Samma Ditthi Sutta about doctrinal recitation and tenfold series. There are so many discourses uttered by Venerable Sariputta. There were no monks like Venerable Sariputta in delivering the Buddha's message to bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, upasakas and upasikas. Of course, he was the marshal of the Dhammasenapati. So the stupa of Sariputta at Nalanda, where he was born and died, is shown in that picture. If you go to India, you definitely visit this place, because Nalanda University is there, huge university. So you can see the place where the stupa is made, and in the other picture, relics of Sariputta is kept in a museum in Calcutta, and I think we also have some relics of Sariputta in Sri Lanka. So this picture was taken in the web. So it is so blessings for many people at all time to have Venerable Sariputta's relics and discourses and monuments, anything like that. So now we come to the point at last. Ditthi, Samma Ditthi. So the discourse we are having is Samma Ditthi Sutta. Before we go into details of the discourse, we should know these words clearly. Otherwise, we might going with somewhere with closed eyes. We might be trapped in views, in wrong views, because we go then without understanding the important factors. Ditthi is mean view, belief, speculative opinions, insight, understanding. Ditthi is used negatively, right? Because that's how it has been coming in the literature. When we say Ditthi, we definitely mean something negative, something wrong. Basically, the word Ditthi is a neutral word, but as it comes, as it has been coming and using for different things, it has negative connotation. So we have three Ditthi: wrong view, Miccha Ditthi, and Sakkaya Ditthi, personality view or self view, and Samma Ditthi, right or harmonious view. So Ditthi, of course, is neutral. It's a kind of basic thing. By putting one of these in front, we make something meaningful. Miccha Ditthi, Sakkaya Ditthi, and Samma Ditthi. What do you think? Which Ditthi we should go with? The last one, Samma Ditthi. The other Ditthis are wrong. Let's take wrong view. Initially, wrong view or Miccha Ditthi is very bad, and if you live with it, and you might be ended up your life cycle in unhappy places like animal kingdom, ghost, or hell. Miccha Ditthi has nothing wholesome, it always gives us suffering. Personality view, though people who do not have wrong view still might live with personality view, Sakkaya Ditthi. I do not go to explain that further because it's another subject, but initially Sakkaya Ditthi is the notion called I, me and myself. We have it. Until you attain to first level of enlightenment called Sotapanna, we have this view, Sakkaya Ditthi. But the level of Sakkaya Ditthi, depending on your Dhamma practice, could be varied. Those who worship the Buddha and do not get angry, but intentionally you do away with greed, hatred and delusion and live according to moral principles. I say that these people have maybe 20%, 50%, 30% of Sakkaya Ditthi. Because they have, Sakkaya Ditthi is just like a big tree which covers everywhere, and you day by day cut branches and then try to finish the tree, but it's still living, but you stop growing that tree. That's a simile to understand how a person destroys Sakkaya Ditthi stages by stages by doing meritorious deed and practicing meditation, giving dana, observing sila, listening to Dhamma, coming to Sutta study class, and so on. So you slowly cut off the big tree, Sakkaya Ditthi, by doing that. You may finish it completely when you attain to Sotapanna. How many of you attain to Sotapanna? Not you. That's the right way to say it. You cannot say about others, right? Let's talk about Sotapanna later on. And when we talk about the qualities of Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat, you have criteria to decide whether you are a Sotapanna. Okay? So these are the three Ditthi that we should learn when we discuss the discourse like Samma Ditthi or other discourses.
So Sakkaya Ditthi can be good or bad or bad?
It is bad, it is negative, it brings also, Sakkaya, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that question. When you have Sakkaya Ditthi, you can develop Micca Ditthi. There is a great chance of developing Micca Ditthi.
Oh.
You can fall into Micca Ditthi when you have Sakkaya Ditthi. If you become mindful about the factors we develop to destroy Sakkaya Ditthi, your journey will turn to the third one. Unless you know about Sakkaya Ditthi very well, you might do some activities which belongs to Micca Ditthi. So understand it categorically and with wisdom that it is not something good. When you are in Sakkaya Ditthi, there is no escape from suffering, samsaric suffering. There is still suffering creating in it, but knowing Sakkaya Ditthi as it is provide us a great chance to be Samma Ditthi person. Okay? Have some questions like that and think about different ways. Don't believe what I am saying.
I thought the Sakkaya Ditthi is only totally destroyed at the non-returner.
No, Sakkaya Ditthi is destroyed at the attainment of Sotapanna. Remember the stanza in Ratana Sutta, Sahavasa Dassana Sampadaya Tayasu Dhamma Jahita Bhavanti Sakkaya Ditthi Vichikicchitanja Silabbatang Vapi Adatti Kinchi. So when you enter into this Dasana Sampadaya, means the teachings of the Buddha, where you have a clear vision, that person destroy three Tayasu Dhamma Jahita Bhavanti, three fetters. What are these three fetters? Sakkaya Ditthi, self-view, Vichikicchitanja, Vichikiccha, doubt, and Silabbatang Vapi Adattiki, the wrong practices and rituals. Out of 10, you destroy 3 fetters. They are Sakkaya Ditthi, personality view, doubts, and wrong practices and rituals. So it is at the attainment of Sotapanna.
So, do you have to, you cannot be in 2 places like a Sakkaya Ditthi and Samma Ditthi?
I would say that personality view and wrong view would, share some sort of, words, action, and so on.
Until you clarify.
Yeah. So wrong, people who have personality view may not be in wrong view sometime because, but some people may, because it's a matter of changing of your mind, changing your mind from wisdom to ignorance. It may happen due to strong greed, hatred, ignorance. It can happen sometime. There is no guarantee. Until you attain to Sotapanna, there is no guarantee of your practice. That's why Buddha said, hurry up, practice meditation, practice the Dhamma, and make sure yourself that you cross over this mundane life to Supramanya, normal life to Sotapanna state. That's the advice given by the Buddha to monks and nuns, and it applies to lay people as well. Okay, we go to the next one. A definition. Of course, we go with definition, right? Our mind is full with definitions. Even who is a human being? Then we say human being is such and such a being, and the definition. So, what is a computer? Computer is a device, and so and so. What is a car? It is a vehicle. So without definition, we cannot find concept in human existence. So we are going with a definition. In the Tripitaka, we can find a very clear definition for Samma Ditthi. We are talking about Samma Ditthi, right? Samma Ditthi has this definition: not knowing the suffering as it is. This is the definition for Mithya Ditthi. Not knowing the suffering as it is, Dukkhang Ajnanam. Not knowing the cause of suffering as it is, Dukkhe Samudaye Ajnanam. Not knowing the cessation of suffering as it is, Dukkha Nirodhe Ajnanam. Not knowing the path leading to the cessation of suffering, Dukkha Nirodha Gaminiya Patipada Ajnanam, is Mithya Ditthi. So, before we go to Samma Ditthi, let's spend some time to understand Mithya Ditthi. Mithya Ditthi is not knowing the 4 noble truths. Now you know what are the 4 noble truths, right? The noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of causes of suffering, the noble truth of cessation of suffering, the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Not knowing about these 4 is called wrong view, Mithya Ditthi. If you know these 4 truths, you do not want to spend your life with no purpose. You of course try to do something great, something positive, something spiritual. Okay? So when you have wrong view, your mind always deal with these 10 technically. So we can add any thought into these 10. There is nothing given. That's given by the text. Especially Brahmajala Sutta and many discourses explain these 10 points of wrong view. So those who have wrong view, of course, do not know the 4 noble truths, means they do not believe on these. There is nothing given. They do not believe that there is merit out of giving. They do not believe giving up their time and energy for somebody else's happiness. They are selfish. They do not believe the good practice of generosity as a means of peace and happiness. There is nothing offered. There are no Brahmins or spiritually developed people, and we should not offer anything because there are no such people. Those people believe. There is nothing sacrificed, there is no fruit and result of good and evil action. So that's Miccha Ditthi. There is no this world, there is no next world, there is no mother, there is no father. I have seen such people in my life. Even in my country where we practice Buddhism throughout 25 centuries. Those people say that those people are called materialists, and they say that we are all human beings, which is good so far. But we do not have respect for others like mother, father. We are all human beings. Even having a relationship with son with mother and father with daughter is okay. They say that. They do not believe moral principles. That's Miccha Ditthi, wrong view. And there are no beings that are reborn. There are no Brahmin and recluses, which means there are no spiritual people living rightly and practicing rightly, having directly known and realized for themselves with world and the hereafter proclaim them. These 10 views consist of other subsections, and whenever one has one of these, he is in wrong view, Miccha Ditthi. So the unwholesomeness is one side of our mind, and we have only two sides, wholesomeness and unwholesomeness. So all kind of unwholesome state of mind is coming from wrong view. This statement is found in Ekadhamma Pali in Anguttara Nikaya number 306. Buddha said that, Bhikkhus, I do not see even a single thing on account of which unreasoned, unwholesome qualities arise and reasoned, unwholesome qualities increase and expand so much as wrong view. Wrong view is the biggest, dangerous unwholesomeness that create everything. If there are no unwholesomeness so far, wrong view can create them. If there are unwholesome state already arisen in our mind, wrong view can increase those unwholesomeness. That's what it says. For one of wrong view, arisen unwholesome qualities arise, and arisen unwholesome qualities increase and expand. So you can see how dangerous Miccha Ditthi is. Don't worry about this fact. For in terms of your practice, you do not have it. From my point of view, because whenever a person accepts that the Buddha is enlightened and he is my teacher, and whatever he taught is my teaching, and those people who practice the teachings of the Buddha are the examples for my practice, you are definitely out of this wrong view. Okay, then we found 62 wrong views mentioned in the Tripitaka. This is, of course, from the first discourse of Digha Nikaya, Brahmajala Sutta. The net of view. I have a rough, very simple version of the information here. Next two slides will give you some information, but you do not worry about those information. You may read it later on. Simply understand that there are 18 wrong views concerning the past and the present, and 44 wrong views concerning the future. They are all about self. 62 views were created by different religious groups and people, scholars at that time throughout many centuries based on self. They were unable to understand the truth. Only the Buddha found the truth and expanded and explained to the world. Even after the Buddha, a lot of religious groups were hanging on to these 62 views. That's why we found 6 religious leaders like Makkali Gosala, Pakuda Kachayana and Ajita Kesakambala and so on. They were accepting the self as the center of everything. Though they explain some good teachings, moral principle, finally they centered on the self. We do not go to read all these. You may understand that there are 62 wrong views and it is recorded in Brahmajala Sutta.
What are contractions and expansions?
Say it again.
What are contractions and expansions?
It's called in Pali Samvatta and Vivatta. This world is now existing like this planet Earth. When we have expansion, either by having so much heat or cold, I would say combination of all these things, this planet Earth dissolve or devolve its energy. Yeah. So that's construction, and when after billions and billion years, maybe from our understanding, many eons, again this planet Earth come together. The energy of what this planet Earth made come together and make the world. We don't know when it is happening, but Buddha said that it is happening in the future. Samvatta and Vivatta. Construction and expansion.
Yes, nothing is permanent.
Nothing is permanent. Even the sun, even the moon, even the other stars that we can see in the space, everything is impermanent. And let me give you some other information about wrong view within a minute or so. A thicket of wrong view. Buddha said that wrong view is just like a net that humans and other living beings could caught up. When you are caught up with that net, there is no escape from it because it's so dangerous. Why do we say that? Because if you are caught up with the wrong view, the steps you take to come out may not be wise because your wisdom is covered by ignorance. When you have wrong view, ignorance is the governing factor in your mind. When there is ignorance, how can you find a light? Suppose that we are here in the middle of the night. No light here. Not even a single sign of light. How can we find a way out to go somewhere? So when you are in a wrong view, do not fall into wrong view. If you fall into wrong view, it is very difficult to escape from it. That's why Buddha said that if you are reborn as an animal, as a ghost, as a hell being, it is very difficult for those beings to come out of that suffering. That's why that simile is given, the tortoise, and there are so many similes. So let's go with this thicket of wrong views. There is the case where an uninstructed, run-of-the-mill person, it means unwise person, does not discern what ideas are fit for attention or what ideas are unfit for attention. The unwise person, foolish person, the person who do not understand the truth, do not pay attention to ideas fit for his attention, fit for good thing. He does not know, the other side of the attention as well, which is unfit for attention. Because of that, this being so, he does not attend to ideas fit for attention, does not attends to instead to ideas unfit for attention. The way out of a thicket of wrong, that's wrong view. The dangerous of having wrong view is that you do not know what to do, simply. The way out of thicket wrong view is you must be well instructed, or you should have some help from noble people. Then you are called wise. He or she discern then what is fit for attention, what is not fit for attention. Because of that, you will be out of wrong view. So now time is 8. So I do not want to go further explaining so many things. Friends, this discourse has so many information, so much information on. They are all factual information. Sorry to fill your head with so much points, perhaps too much, but listen to it attentively and try to understand the connection to your practice. Okay, having said that, I would like to stop the class discussion from now. But if you have any questions, you can ask. If you can wait, you can ask any questions.
So do you have a session like this for Sakaya Ditthi also? Do you explain like this? This is Miccha Ditthi, right?
This is Miccha Ditthi, and direct opposite of Miccha Ditthi is Samma Ditthi, not Sakaya Ditthi.
Okay.
Therefore, I would take time to explain Miccha Ditthi and explain the Samma Ditthi. In order to find gems, you need to remove the stones and other stones which are not valuable, and muds and so on. So similar to that, I am explaining what is Miccha Ditthi first, which means what is not Samma Ditthi. Then you will know automatically what is Samma Ditthi. Okay, thank you very much for coming to Sutta studies today, and hope you have good time to practice the Dhamma in the weekend. Wish you happiness. Thank you very much.